You might ask yourself, what is a tank doing in Please Stop? Well, the point is that you never know what sort of nutter you're going to come across next on the roads. They don't have to be in a tank to kill you, so watch out.
The scary part was that it was obvious that the suspect was familiar with the tank. We immediately got information that there were no munitions in the tank. However, if he could get to the tank, get the tank out, there was no reason to believe that he couldn't get a large shell into the cannon of the tank. In those films, you see all the vehicles behind, which are all police vehicles, keeping the public at a safe distance. If he had brought a shell into that tank, which would be quite possible, and fired that, it would have cleared 163 in the northbound lanes for many miles.
The tank had been stolen from a local military base by an unemployed plumber who had military training in the past. No one knows for sure what he was trying to do, but the theory is that he had a grudge against the government and was probably heading for downtown San Diego to try and wreck some government buildings.
Christ, there's a tank in my street. It drove through it. I mean, it demolished it.
It was my van. Yeah, he pushed it all the way down here. He wanted to do it. He saw it in his eyes. He was having a good time, so.
How could anybody just walk into an armory and steal a tank?
When he got to the tank, it appears that he took some pry bars and broke some of the locks on 2 other tanks before he got to this one.
Sam, I want the unit with the 4x and Officer Paxson to be allowed to get closer to this tank.
Southbound 163 from 805, and 10-4 units, take it slow if he decides to back up.
But a tanker bar, we can stop it with a tanker bar.
A tanker bar, 10-4.
One was to enter the compartment not knowing if the individual was armed. 2, they could have used gas. They thought about it, they decided not to. Gas would cause the driver to possibly be debilitated and go out of control. And 3, if the officers had entered the compartment when it was gassed, they would be debilitated. The next decision was, should we use lethal force? The officers decided yes, and that's exactly what they did.
Probably open on the top. If we can get somebody on top of it, they can probably get inside the tank, and that's...
The officers somehow got the hatch open and ordered the driver to stop. They were afraid that he would get the tank off the barrier at any moment. He resisted and was shot dead. Antisocial driving.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to put pen to paper here, if we can get these 2 out of the way.
Oh, blue lights, yeah? Yeah, go on.
Many people seem to panic and overreact when an emergency vehicle flashes them or comes up behind them with the siren on. Please look around you if you hear a siren and work out how best to let them pass without endangering other motorists. You don't need to stop, just make room for them to get past. Luckily, it's rare to find a driver as dangerous as this, and it took quite some time to catch up with him and pull him over. This is the sort of driving that could easily kill another driver or pedestrian, all for the sake of a cheap thrill, showing off to his mates.
Well, still hardly made it.
The A12 at once, it over.
Outside the port showroom, oil tanker broken down in lane 1. Over. Any,
what's this? I'll stand on the pavement, please. Wouldn't want to get hit by a dangerous driver.
I'll cover that one. Runway 4, can you assist, please, with a unit?
The judge wasn't at all happy when shown the video, and the driver got 1 year's probation with a 1-year ban and a retest, plus 60 hours of rehabilitation courses.
That happened.
Oh, yes, that's all on camera. It's a bit it's horrendous. That was horrendous, actually. Yeah.
This sort of behaviour drives other drivers mad, as well as being dangerous and unnecessary. He sped off but was soon stopped. Fined £120 with 4 penalty points for careless driving.
You might be worth a follow, actually.
More antisocial road behaviour. Any near-side undertaking is illegal, especially like this. He was also done for speeding. Fined £120 with 3 penalty points.
Off the gas now for a little while.
This character is tailgating an unmarked police traffic car. And like you or me, the officers don't like it at all. Unlike you and me, they are going to stop him and give him a ticket.
Point him in. You. That way. Come on. In. Follow us in. He's going. Pull in. Right, give me some blue.
This cost him £100 and 3 penalty points.
Shame we didn't get him doing that on the thing.
The M1 pursuit. Today's traffic police are taught how to set up a rolling roadblock in training sessions. But doing it for real is something else. And this stolen BMW didn't want to stop for anyone.
YJ appears to be single driver only, it's quite cool, open the sunroof, etc., not too worried, Alpha Oscar 1, YJ, straight on at Watford Gap, straight on Watford Gap.
Watch as the traffic cars position themselves around the BMW, ready for the command car's order. As it happens, the blue van was a member of the public who realised what was happening and lent a hand, and was the key to slowing the BMW down to a stop. The police never did find out who he was. Zoo time. By way of contrast, traffic patrol cars come across all manner of wildlife on their travels. This mum and her chicks get a special police escort. And if you're wondering what the white lines mean, yes, it means hazard warning. Watch out, stray dog. Its owner could be sued if it causes an accident. And if you see a sign like this, there's a good chance you might see this. At night, a deer will often freeze in fright if caught in your headlights and do a lot of damage to your car if you hit one. This guy was speeding when the dog runs in front of him. Not only could his speeding have killed the dog, what if a pedestrian had been on the pavement? Pedestrians. Last year, over 1,100 pedestrians were killed and 46,000 injured on Britain's roads. This figure is actually going up each year, while road accident figures are coming down. Braking at 31 miles per hour, this car hits her at 23 miles an hour and throws her 15 feet. Luckily, she was only slightly injured. Remember, at 20 mph, very few are killed and most injuries are slight. At 30 mph, many are seriously injured and about half are killed. But at 40 mph, most people hit are killed. The faster a car is travelling, the more difficult it becomes for a pedestrian to judge a car's speed. And children have a lesser ability to assess speeds than adults. Last year, over 160 children were killed and more than 19,000 injured. For various reasons, pedestrians have moments when they totally forget about approaching vehicles. And it's difficult to eliminate such behaviour by education or information. The only thing that really works is slowing vehicle speeds down in areas where there are a lot of people. So kill your speed, not a pedestrian. Cyclists. Cycling down the Marylebone Road is always hairy, but this guy is really risking life and limb by riding a bike that's far too small for him.
Hey? Well, he's pulled aside. That's mad, isn't he? What an idiot. Yeah. That part don't look big enough for him.
Watch the door, mate.
Oh.
What an obstacle course.
685.
Alright, it's just a little thing.
Like staying on.
There we go.
Again, this character isn't too concerned about his own safety.
There's only one brake on this bloody thing. Oh, we know, see, we're going through a red light. Yeah.
He could very easily add himself to the statistics, which listed 178 cyclists killed and over 50,000 injured last year. And watch this guy getting a lift up the hill. Watch the right of the screen. That was an unbelievable near miss. We'll show it to you again. Now watch the cyclist. His hand says it all. In this clip, it's the motorcyclist giving rude hand signals. But again, it's the biker who is in the wrong. In fact, this guy seems intent on getting himself killed. Watch the car nearly clip him. 454 bikers were killed on the roads last year, and over 48,000 injured in incidents like that.
We'll stop both vehicles.
Well, we're not going to stop him. The light's going to go in.
Side overtakes now. 2 vehicles, 3 vehicles now. He's playing around now with the Vauxhall Nova.
Put it now.
6 thieves. You, in.
Biker pursuit.
Yeah, we're in Abbey Street going towards Jamaica Road. He's 300 yards just going under the railway bridges, over.
This is a pursuit of a biker seen speeding, who when stopped turned out to be drunk. He made the mistake of thinking he'd get away because he was on a bike. Wrong.
I'll give you a direction. He's gone right into Jamaica Road, heading towards Rotherhithe Tunnel. He's turning left into Standby. We've gone into George Road. He's still about 200 yards in front of us. No lights.
Take a road left, I missed the other road, you're broken together.
Yeah, Standby, we're in an estate at the moment. We're going along the embankment now, back towards Tower Bridge. If you stand by, I'll give you a location as soon as I can.
Go towards Mill Street, was that Mike Corner-Killer?
Yes, into Mill Street now.
Yeah, we're in Mill Street, he's still going.
Watch as he throws a crash helmet at the traffic car. He fell off at the next junction and was arrested.
He's now gone across the barrier, stand by.
Odds and sods. The following clips demonstrate some of the types of dangerous lorries on the road.
A lorry, flatback lorry with 3 vehicles on top, which are actually moving about. You see the vehicles moving about where the straps have come away.
No dancing from this car, though. This poor little Porsche had blown its engine. If this happens to you, don't try driving it. Pull it off the road immediately so that you're not a hazard to other drivers or the atmosphere. The police will prosecute any motorist they come across whose vehicle is smoking excessively. And it doesn't get much worse than this.
Don't know how many they got in there, but there's quite a few, I would suggest.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on minimum. That's not on, is it? We've got a dangerous low passenger, haven't we?
Yeah.
And the door's open. Look at this door.
Zoom in on that door. Yeah, there's a door. Leaving the film running now. Going to get all the people out of this car just to see exactly how many people are in there. He's just shut the door that was left open. One. 2. 3, 4. 5. And there's one still in the back there, 6. 6 people in the back, the driver and a front seat woman passenger. That's 8 people in all in that car.
Also, none of the children or adults had seatbelts on, which is illegal if the car is fitted with them. The driver was fined £120. Just imagine if this had happened to the last car. But luckily, no back seat. Wide loads. This farmer in Northern Ireland neglected to inform the traffic police that he was moving house. Towing a wide load requires lights, indicators, and a police escort. We are now inside a traffic car escorting a wide load up a narrow lane, and the cars have to slow to pass us. But not this speeder. Somehow he misses the load. He's braked so hard, he's spun right round and staggers out of the car in total shock. Just when you thought you'd seen it all,
I'm on receiving, Juliet 2 far over. Yeah, we won't be going anywhere with this load. He's just struck a boat taken out of the Avlo Bay and dislodged its load. Juliet 2 far over.
drunk driving.
We're on the M11 elevated section, benefit of the tape. I'm told about this van by a member of the public. We're going to look for a safe place to try and stop him. He's all over the road, he's indicating left, going out into the right-hand lane. He's now speeding up.
Research indicates that alcohol is a contributory factor in 10% of all accidents. Stats show that there were around 510 fatalities and over 14,000 casualties in drink-drive accidents last year. You will almost certainly lose your licence for a year and be heavily fined if caught over the limit. But on top of that, your insurance company will either tell you to get lost or more than triple your premium for what they see as socially unacceptable behaviour.
Sorry.
Switch 9475. All cars empty out.
This driver was so drunk he could hardly walk. He got a one-year ban and was fined £500 with £40 costs.
The vehicle has no.
In many states in the USA, they do a roadside sobriety test before breathalyzing you back at the station if you fail. Not everyone enjoys this test.
Beverage on your breath. Have you had anything to drink tonight?
Yes, I've had 2 beers, excuse me.
Okay. Well, Terry, I'm just wondering, I mean, you were driving without any lights on, okay? That's all I'm concerned about.
I understand.
You said you came from the city of New Orleans, that's about 8 blocks.
You're right,
okay.
I did.
So
yeah, I understand.
Okay. Do you think that the alcohol you had tonight impaired your driving or anything?
I really don't. I'm on my way here. My husband manages this restaurant. I'm on my way here to meet him.
Okay, all right.
We're going home.
Terry, are you wearing contact lenses, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Okay, are they hard or soft?
They're hard.
Okay. Terry, I just want to check your eyes here real quick to make sure everything's okay. Okay. No. Get all that. Do you have any problems with your knees or ankles? Any injuries?
No,
or
I
anything?
don't.
Okay.
And if you're going to do the whole sobriety test here, why don't you just tell me that you're going to do the sobriety test? Let's do it. Okay.
Well, that's what I like to do. That's what I like to do.
Well, let's do it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Let's get on with the BS here.
Okay.
What is your name?
My name's Officer Paulus, ma'am.
What is your first name?
Michael.
Michael, my name is Terry.
Okay.
If you want to do something with me, why don't we just get on and do it?
Okay.
Why don't you say, my name is Terry and your name is Michael.
Okay.
And why don't you just get on with it and do it, all
Okay.
right? And if you want to postpone, here's my AAA card.
Well, Terry,
And
Terry, we're going through the whole field sobriety stuff here now, okay?
You know, I
Okay.
realize that.
Okay, okay. Would you?
And I'm real upset with you, and I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'm
if
sorry.
If you want to do it, you just
I'm
go
sorry.
right ahead.
Okay. What I'm going to ask you to do, ma'am, is stand on one leg for about 30 seconds.
Fine. What should I do what?
Well, I'm going to explain and demonstrate how I want you to do that, okay?
You go right ahead.
Okay. When I tell you to begin, ma'am, I want you to raise one leg about 6 inches off the ground. Okay, now hang on. Let me explain everything. One leg about 6 inches off the ground. You're
I'm so near now.
Beg
To
pardon?
hell with this.
Beg your pardon? Beg your pardon? Do you want me to go ahead and continue here, Terry, or what? Okay. Do you want me to continue? Okay, I'm just trying to find out if alcohol's impaired your driving, ma'am. I'm sorry that you're upset, but I told you why I stopped you. You're driving around without any lights on, okay? Do you understand that?
I do understand it, yes.
Okay. All right, what I'm going to ask you to do is stand on one leg for about 30 seconds, okay?
Fine.
Okay, hang on.
Let's do that,
okay.
shall we?
Okay, we're going to do that, okay? Here's what I want you to do. When I tell you to begin, you're going to keep your hands out your sides. You're going to raise one leg about
Let's
6 inches off. Hang on, Terry. Let me explain everything, okay? About one leg about 6 inches off the ground. You're going to point your foot out just like this. See what I'm doing? Do you see how I'm doing that, Terry? Point your foot out. And as you watch your foot, I need you to count out loud. 1001, 1002, 1003, up to 1030. So you're going to count to 30, but you're going to do it by thousands. Do you understand that?
I do understand it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I can count that far.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, ma'am, go ahead and begin.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Okay. Okay, Terry, let's do one other thing here.
Yeah, let's. Yeah, let's.
Okay, Terry. Terry.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I want to go inside and speak to my husband.
Okay, I want you to do one more thing for me.
You may want me to do something.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
You may want me
One
to
last
do
thing.
something.
Okay, one last thing here.
I'm going to speak
Terry,
to my husband.
Terry, what I want you to do, ma'am, if you're not going to do one last thing, then I'm going to have to tell you one thing right now, okay?
Yeah.
Right now.
You can't
right
cut
now,
me. You're going
right
to
now,
take me.
right now, you're
Fine.
under arrest for driving under the influence, okay?
This is no place to stop. But in any case, let your passenger get out before you drive off. This is a drunk driver on a suicidal motorway journey with no lights on. Of course, if you are going to drink and drive, you massively increase the chances of killing yourself, like this guy nearly did.
Northbound on Prospect, 38. You see him crossing the center line there, driving right down the middle of the roadway. 46 and a 35, striking the curb again as we're past Hill.
749. 749, your location.
Back it out 13. I'm sorry, settle down a little bit. Prospect in Washington, 1050 PI.
749, 10-4.
Back it out 13, I'll hit that one. Boy. You all right?
7L13, 10-4.
I'm taking care of it, thank you. See your driver's license.
Back it 21. 781, go ahead.
Everyone give it to left hand, no one's around. Metcat 749, we've got one other unit here. I need a 1051, no preference.
910-4.
Yeah, 7L24. Okay, Mr. Spaulding. How much you had to drink tonight, sir? How much you had to drink tonight?
One beer on my way.
One beer and you're on your way? Okay. Because I can smell the strong odor of an alcoholic beverage on your breath.
Yeah, one beer on my way.
All right.
Bumps and bangs. Some motorists don't take mini roundabouts very seriously. This sort of driving caused over 30,000 accidents last year. There are over 141,000 accidents at junctions like this. And as you can see, they are nearly all caused by simple lack of concentration. Too close for comfort. The police are also at the receiving end of bad driving, as you will see in the following incidents.
Go near you to the other one. That's how near he is. What we're doing, 54 miles an hour. Oh, he's getting a bit nearer again, look. Oh dear.
Got the rear reds and blues on just to warn everybody off.
We're still doing 50 miles an hour, and that's how near he is. He's trying to overtake us on the inside. Oh, he's just cut us up. Dear, oh dear. Oh, he's nearly hit us in the back. Oh dear, this man's a maniac. Absolute maniac. Oh.
New York pursuit. This clip from New York shows the NYPD hurrying to help the transit police who were chasing a mugger who robbed a woman at knife point in the subway. He wounded a police officer as he escaped and fled into the street with the police in hot pursuit.
4 Henry responding, got a warning, guys. Don't go through. Wait, over there. Straight up. All mine. Responding, code 313 at West 4th. Come on, move the car. Is that the guy just on the car? Yeah. To the left. Follow the school. What's he chasing? Right here, this guy right here.
How about that for a quick response time? Motorway madness. This clip starts a sequence of different types of bad driving on Britain's motorways. This character is truly unbelievable. The motorway cameras first noticed the passenger who was guiding the car back, but it got worse. Much worse. Quite how this driver got into this situation was never explained, though it turned out that the driver was 91 years old. This incident brought an end to his driving career. His licence was revoked. Watch as this car just breezes onto the motorway. And how many times has this happened to you? This van driver can't even be bothered to signal before pushing in at the last moment. Annoying or what? This is one of the country's most notorious stretches of road leading off the M4 to Heathrow Airport, which often gets jammed up with frustrated drivers with planes to catch or people to meet. Even so, it's no excuse for this sort of driving. He was fined £200. This hitchhiker must be late for his plane or something. He's a one-man accident black spot. Watch the smoke from the lorry tyres as it brakes to avoid him. He did eventually get a lift in the back of a police car. More motorway accidents happen on the hard shoulder than anywhere else, so it goes without saying that it's very foolish to stop there unless it's an absolute emergency. Get off on the nearest slip road if you possibly can. And this is why. Watch this dozing driver weave in and out of the hard shoulder. It's scary. Yes, this is illegal as well. And the driver will get the ticket, not the passenger. This car was only hundreds of yards from a service station as well.
This should be...
These guys have only got half a mile to go before the motorway ends. So get your money on this race quick. This is an example of road rage. The minibus driver won't let the lorry overtake him. In the end, they were both losers. They both got booked. Motorway control officers monitoring the camera at first thought this car had broken down, but on closer inspection, they made out a man on top of a woman on the front seat. The officers phoned up an emergency phone box they'd happened to have stopped next to, and the guy answered and admitted it wasn't the car that was overheating. Watch him wave before carrying on, where he left off. They were cautioned but not charged. It doesn't take a lot of imagination to think what would have happened to them if that weaving lorry had hit them, though. Helicopter pursuit.
MP India 99, we're above now.
Yeah, India 99, if you can see the vehicle, take over the commentary.
No, best left to the ground unit.
99, received.
With thermal imaging cameras on the helicopter, this stolen car has no chance of escaping. Even if the ground pursuit cars have lost sight of him, the helicopter crew can guide them.
Over. Taunton Road, received.
Passing MFI on the left-hand side, we've got Martin Crescent on the left, Papa 4 in front of us, 80 mile an hour, India 99 above.
Papa 4, Zulu 1, if you keep the commentary going, your signals are better, Emperor.
Roundabout now, wrong side of the road, 80 miles an hour, braking heavily, going the wrong way around the roundabout, Lombard roundabout. The left-hand side of the roundabout, now Mitcham Road towards Croydon.
Mitcham Road, received.
Wrong side of the road, it's overtaking, solid line of traffic on the left.
Approaching the T-junction now, T-junction by railway station on his right. And it's right at the T-junction. Oscar unit, go right, go right.
Go right, that's at Warden, British Rail Station.
Yes, and it's straight on.
99, received.
He's going up towards IKEA at the moment, MP. He's about half a mile south of IKEA. Heavy acceleration. Police units, go straight on, not left. Police units, go straight on.
Oscar 417 again, heading on towards the IKEA.
Unit 200 metres behind. Approaching roundabout, dog van at the roundabout. Blocking in traffic, MP. Blocking in traffic, wrong siding. And he's taking the fourth exit. So units go right, past the bus.
Yes, received.
And first right. Stand by. Nearly lost it. I think he's going to abandon it. He's now going north, going right. Go right.
The road is in, Emperor.
Left units.
Turn left again now.
Right, he's gone left again. Hits one parked vehicle, MP. Accelerating back towards the gasometers towards IKEA. Okay, Lima, yeah, you got him. Take over the commentary.
He's at another option.
Right, he's just missed about 15 children on the pavement into a cul-de-sac. Units into a cul-de-sac. Stand by. Out of the vehicle. He's gone straight into a driveway. That's it straight ahead.
On the ground with the name of the road, Emperor.
Go first left up the footpath towards the railway station. Left, guys. Left, and right at the end. Left. He's now running past the garage.
And he still won't escape, even when he's on foot, as his body heat gives him away.
Behind the houses. Go for the flyover.
There goes the vehicle series.
MP 99, he's now running up the steps on the side of the flyover.
Dear 99, stand by just for 1 second. Can I have the road where the vehicle has decamped in, Emperor?
Stop, he's on your left. That's him. Solo, go forward 15 metres, that's him on the bridge. Solo, that's him, half left now. That's him, you got him. Yeah, confirm that is your suspect. Now being detained, MP. Plenty of units on scene.
Snow and ice. The best advice the police give about driving in snow and ice is don't. Leave the car at home. As you see, these motorists wish they'd taken the police advice, and the 6,000 people who had accidents in these conditions last year might agree.
that's a good one.
Mad drivers. Recent research shows that a hardcore of young drivers take dangerous risks, and many accidents are the result of jumping lights, like this. Or bad overtaking, like this. And speeding, like this guy. Drivers under the age of 21 are involved in 25% of all fatal accidents. Road markings are often ignored. Here, they are intended to protect right-turning vehicles. Overtaking like this is very dangerous. Though young drivers demonstrate a good sense of roadcraft, they have a false belief in the amount of control they have when speeding or making dangerous manoeuvres. Watch as this impatient driver forces oncoming cars to dive for the side of the road. And watch this car on the right of the picture pull out. He was fined £160 with 4 penalty points for dangerous driving. Finally, this van driver takes first prize for bad overtaking. Watch as the petrol tanker and car transporter take emergency avoiding action. He was fined £250 and gained 5 penalty points on his licence. Think twice before parking outside this guy's store.